If I'm being honest, probably one of my favourite races on the calendar. A little bit partial to the C1s. It was the type of race that took my my racing initialisation. I did the C1s at Silverstone for the 24 hours. Wonderful, wonderful little cars, little 1 litre engines, just like you would take to the shop on a Friday afternoon to do your weekly big shop. And these things have somehow been turned into race cars, and they are the most fun that you can have behind the wheel there, making their way down on the track. So let's head and see what the grid is looking like just now. The C1s is currently going through. And let's have a look then at our race grid for the SMTA Scottish C1 Cup. Andrew Davidson in pole position with Ross Dunn on row 1. Kyle Nisbet is alongside Finlay Brunton, returning for another year. Thomas Comer and Sam Corson back at the front of the grid on row 3. Mark Nisbet in 7th position. Now, this is a name that I recognise. Unfortunately, I'm going to say it again, from esports. Aidan Wilson was unbelievably fast. I am so excited to see him out there on 8th position on the grid. So that's row 4. Moving back to row 5 then, Callum Conway alongside Rich Flett in 9th and 10th. Lazo Benet in 11th position, with James Hitchin in 12th position. Paul Winfield in 13th. Ian Cochrane in 14th. And Gordon Dundee, a name very, very familiar to the paddock here in SMRC for many, many years, at the back of the grid in 15th position. Again, one of my more favourite race classes here at Knockhill, the little Citroen C1, as we said, just a little 997cc engine behind there. So it's not exactly the fastest car, but it is mighty, mighty fun. Of course, stripped out, put a full roll cage into it, and we're heading down into the grid then. And we'll watch the cars lining up as we get to the grid. And let's see. And I wonder if we've got Andy Alston down there ready to go. So Andy, can you hear me, buddy? What are those C1s looking like?
Well, it's a very, very interesting grid there. We've got 15 cars taking the grid on this one. It'll be Andrew Davidson leading the way from our reigning champion Ross Dunn. They'll both be on the front row of this grid, and it'll be very interesting to see how this one shapes up. The C1 action is always great to watch. That man there, Andrew Davidson, in the 70 car, will start this one from the front of the grid, and he'll be very keen to make a good impression going into this one. So let's have a quick chat with Andrew and see what he's got to say for this one. And fantastic lapping qualifying from you, and you'll be keen to put that into practice here for the opener.
Yeah, really good. Just surprised, really. Never qualified this far forward before. I think 4th was my best. It was just a shocking time. I'm over the moon with it. So let's see what happens.
And how important is it to get a good lap in qualifying, given just how busy this grid is as well? Sometimes it can be difficult to find a space out there on track.
It's really important. The further forward you are, the more chance you've got. It's just, yeah, you don't want to be too far back.
And these cars are all about momentum as well, and trying to take that with you throughout the lap as well.
It certainly is, yes. It certainly is.
Well, best of luck. Thanks very much for speaking to us.
Thank you very much.
That is our pole sitter there, Mr Davidson, starting in the number 70 car. He's got our reigning champion Ross Dunn alongside him in the Micro Machines racing car, and he'll be very keen to make a good impression here. And we'll hand back to Dave Christie, who'll talk us through all the action here in the Scottish C1 Cup.
Incredible, incredible stuff. So there we go then. Andrew Davidson on that front row of the grid, alongside with Ross Dunn. Kyle Nisbet on row 2 with Finlay Brunton. So many names to watch out for here, and absolutely nothing to separate these cars. That is what you've got to look forward to. You've got to be looking at lap times around about between 1:10 and 1:14 for all of the cars here, but we'll see them heading their way around. Certainly the 1 minute board is out, the 30-second board goes out, and I will temper your expectations on this, where we saw the STs and the Formula Fords just streaking away. This will be more of a leisurely affair, but the racing will be absolutely top notch nonetheless. Top speeds, I would imagine probably about 100 miles an hour might be possible in these cars, but you're certainly not going to see that here at Knockhill this afternoon. The reason that I say they're so much fun is the lights go onto the bridge. I'll come back to that one in just a second. Away we go then, and that is a cracking start then for Ross Dunn on the outside then in that second position. The cars coming down, the little 1 litre engines. This is what I'm going to say is so fun. Watch how they take this corner. Watch how narrow those tyres are. And again, look at the slide from second place there as Andrew Davidson trying desperately to hold on to that position. Gets a clip on the curb, and that is going to hand that position then over to Ross Dunn. And this is exactly why it's so fun. Those tyres are so skinny, they're road-going tyres, and this means that the cars just slide about all over the place. It's like little turbo shopping trolleys. Honestly, it's just so much fun being behind the wheel. And again, they're not the fastest, but when you're in the middle of a pack of 15 cars, it doesn't matter. It makes it the most exciting, exhilarating experience, and that's why many, even up to the racing pros, have had a little look. That's up into fourth position there, and that's surely never going to be stopped in time. Does manage to get it done though, and somehow that's going to be a move up from 5th place. I think that was Thomas Comer trying to make that move stick on Finlay Brunton. We'll double check that and make sure as they come across the line though. But Ross Dunn in the lead, and it was Finlay Brunton up into 4th position now, as Ian Wilson, as I was tipping to watch, down into 9th position just now. But the car's coming streaking over Duffus Dip here, and again you can see just how much they're sliding about here. Down at McIntyre's, looks like Ross Dunn getting a little bit of a gap over Andrew Davidson there. Kyle Nisbet down in that 3rd position. You can see that's a group of what looks like 4 cars there, separated by 0.8 of a second. And this means that Ross Dunn gets to stretch off and open up a little bit of a gap there. The clever move is for these 4 to work together and try and chase down that car up in front here. And again, it's so strange to see, because these cars are all absolutely identical. They're all equal 1 litre engines in this, and you can see the pace difference, momentum. If I said it was important in any other classes, up the inside goes Kyle Nisbet, sends it into the curb, little bit of contact there, and well, that was less than friendly, shall we say, from Kyle Nisbet. Decided to send it, and I think he might be getting the repair bill for Andrew Davidson's wing mirror there, that's now flapping in the breeze as that contact comes into that corner. Unfortunately, with how closely these cars are matched in terms of performance, in terms of speed, you have to be elbows out. You have to make a move happen to get any positions here. But have a look at this, Kyle Nisbet starting to catch up to Ross Dunn here. Ross Dunn now starting to look a little bit vulnerable in that 1st position. Finlay Brunton setting the fastest lap of the race. He's coming charging down as well there, and that was a 1 minute 10.467 for these cars here. So the SMTA Citroen C1 Cup well and truly underway here in 2022. And it was a valuable bit of experience that a lot of these drivers got over the last couple of years as well. Remember, there is a Newcomers Cup as well. Ian Wilson in that in the 24, Ian Cochrane in the 61 for that as well. Lazo Benet in the 77, Martin Nisbet in the 117, and then Paul Winfield in the 822 as well. So we'll keep an eye on that Newcomers Cup here for the SMTA Scottish Citroen C1 Cup. But have a look at this now. This is exactly what I was saying about Kyle Nisbet, fastest lap of the race, and he is all over the back of your race leader Ross Dunn as they come down into Duffus Dip. This could be a move into McIntyre's. We'll certainly keep an eye on that and see what happens there, but you can see the 66 trying to fight the number 70. That is a little bit of help getting to the back of number 70 of Andrew Davidson, as he's got Thomas Comer trying to get past him just now. But look at that number 17 of Nisbet on the tail end of the number 1 coming through Clark Corner. And in this car, it's so important to have consistency and maintain that top speed, because we've seen that these cars are not the fastest, so to get that speed, you have to put in the work and you have to put in the preparation here. As we see side by side in at the back there, that's Andrew Davidson trying to make a move around the outside of Sam Corson. Not going to happen, but he might get the cutback here. That's a good run, and that means that the 23 behind of Thomas Comer gets a good run out as well. I think they've all just held themselves up, and you hear the almighty screech of those Nankang, I believe it's still the AS2R tyres that are on those cars there. And yeah, doing a wonderful job of trying to provide what little grip these cars have got to the varying degrees that they're being forced. And that looked like a move under duress from Kyle Nisbet, who lamps it absolutely over the curb there at the inside of McIntyre's there. He is so wanting to try and make this move right now, but look at that, that now brings Finlay Brunton into the mix as well here. And the three of them, it's now a three-car battle, not just for the podium, but for the race lead completely. Oh my goodness me, as that is onto the grass there goes Kyle Nisbet, and we've got a melee. That's the only way we can describe it here. Look at the 23 of Thomas Comer try to go on the grass. Are you kidding me? We're going to go 3 wide down the back straight, and the number 70 of Andrew Davidson has absolutely mugged those cars there. Unbelievable scenes. I've never in my life seen a car trying to drive along the grass at the back straight here. We've got a saying up here in Scotland about being stubborn. They call it being thran, and that's exactly what Thomas Comer was on that back straight, trying to hold the foot in on the grass, and that was never going to work. Loses 2 positions, loses the position to Andrew Davidson, also loses the position to Mark Nisbet. Down through Duffus Dip then, and we've got 7 laps of this left to go. Unbelievable scenes, and this is what I was saying, this is how exciting. You can imagine how exciting this is for us watching here on the stream. Imagine being in one of these little cars and just having this constant battle left, right and centre. I promise you, if you've ever thought about getting into motorsports, have a think about getting into C1s, because every single race, I bet you when Andy Alston goes to interview the drivers, every single one of the podium has got like the biggest grin on their faces, because it is just, it's pure unadulterated fun, and that's what we love so much about it. But as we go with 6 laps left to go, we're seeing more moves in the background there. This is the battle for 4th, 5th and 6th. You can see the leading group there. In fact, sorry, that's 5th, 6th and 7th. Roston still in the lead, but Finlay Brunton now, we missed this, as Finlay Brunton up into 2nd position ahead of Kyle Nisbet. They're side by side coming down into Duffus Dip. There is Finlay Brunton. You can see that car behind the Kyle Nisbet sliding down the hill. And here comes Finlay Brunton trying to catch up onto your race leader Ross Dunn, who thought very briefly that he had a little bit of respite, thought very briefly that he might have got a chance to get away with this. Yeah, that's not happening, as Finlay Brunton you know, making absolute inroads into that gap there of Ross Dunn right now, up over the curb at Clark's there. And again, they're chasing down. They're going to have to watch out, because they've got Sam Corson now, who is 3 seconds behind this battle for the lead as well. And behind that, you've got an incredible battle still raging on between Andrew Davidson, Mark Nisbet in the 117, Thomas Comer as well. And yeah, this is starting to get a little bit of pressure now from the number 1 of Ross Dunn. Runs wide out that hill, but look at Kyle Nisbet on the exit of the hairpin there. And he has got a really good run up the start-finish straight. 5 laps left to go here, as we've got the number 23, no surprise, still trying to go around the outside here. And it looks like he could be losing yet another position to the 110 of Callum Conway. Your leaders come down through the hill then, down through Duffus. And Finlay Brunton now closer to Ross Dunn than at any point through this race so far, making his way all the way up from 4th and 5th position, all the way up into 2nd. Through the chicane, and again these cars bouncing and weaving and jiggling under all sorts of pressure, because these thin, tiny little road-going tyres struggle to get any sort of traction on the track here. And we see now the big gap between 4th and 5th place there. 5th of Andrew Davidson just barely coming through the shot there as we look further down the order. There is the 110 then of Callum Conway right on the back of that 23 of Thomas Comer. And the car's making a way out of the hairpin then. That is your race leader then, Ross Dunn from Finlay Brunton and Kyle Nisbet. And we've only got 4 laps left to go here. Down into Duffus Step, and again you can see the dedication and the absolute precision that the likes of Finlay Brunton has on the rear end of Ross Dunn right now. He is just so like every other car that we've seen in these races so far. It looks like just, you know, lining Ross Dunn up for a move that's not going to happen for two or maybe 3 laps yet, and wanting to wait until the last possible opportunity to make that move on Ross Dunn just in front as Kyle Nisbet goes very wide at the exit of Clark's there. The rear wheel digs up a little bit of gravel. That won't hurt him too much because of course these little cars front wheel drive, and that won't hurt him all that much. But you can see in the distance there as well, Sam Corson, as Finlay Brunton goes very wide, tries to get the cutback there. That's questionable as to whether or not he's going to get any joy out of that there. As we cut back to this amazing battle that we've got here, this is the 822 Paul Winfield fighting with James Hitchin going into the hairpin for the third to last time then, as we've got the leaders coming down into Duffus Dip. Look at how much they've dropped Kyle Nisbet then. This is the battle for the lead, and Kyle Nisbet goes very, very sideways coming down the hill, and snap oversteer is absolutely a thing. And if you overwork these tyres, it can cost you quite a lot of time and quite a lot of momentum here on the track here. But as we said, 3 laps left to go. Ross Dunn, despite all the pressure from the likes of Finlay Brunton, for the likes of Kyle Nisbet, he's been able to hold them on those big wide shoulders of that C1. So Ross Dunn for Micro Machines Racing doing a grand job of holding that lead position right now. But Finlay Brunton does look menacing, doesn't he? Just sort of poking his face out to the side there. And the 23 recovering then from the 110, and that's going to be a position, the 23, like a lame duck coming out of Clark's, and you can hear the spectators on the banking absolutely cheering on that little 110 car as well. And this is what I love, is the fact that it's friends, family, loved ones, you've got sponsors all here at the circuit, all with that emotional vested interest. And have a look at the 23, tries to make the cutback there. Thomas Comer gets the run out of the final hairpin there and gets the position back on that car then. Meanwhile, Ross Dunn still trying to hold on to this lead of the race from Finlay Brunton. And Finlay just, he's not put a foot wrong this race so far. He's putting the pressure on, but he's not putting that car in any sort of position that it doesn't need to be in. Trying to keep the pace up here, and I think there's a little bit of respect here as well, because he knows just how much pace is in this Micro Machines Racing car of Ross Dunn right now as they come down towards the hairpin, and they're going to be starting the final lap. Have a look up the inside. Is this the move from Finlay Brunton? Yes, it is. Sends it up, and did I not say 2 laps ago he looked like he was waiting to get a move a couple of laps away, and that's exactly what he's done. Ross Dunn isn't quite finished yet. Side by side across the line for the last lap. We've got a black and white flag going out for Kyle Nisbet. Presumably that's for track limits. And that is going to be a driving standards flag. Side by side coming in Duffus Step. Last of the late breakers, Finlay Brunton launches it into the stratosphere over the curbs into Duffus Step there. And that looks like that could be done and dusted, because unlike any other class or any other championship, you're not going to make that gap back on raw pace alone. It's going to have to be a mistake here from Ross Dunn, but Finlay Brunton. Ross Dunn in second place, and he's going to have to watch out now, because look at Kyle Nisbet. Nisbet is hungry and fancies it. I've said that. Look at how much that gap is closed down. Are we waiting to see a last gasp here from Ross Dunn? He's certainly in the tow. He moves to one side. That means that Finlay Brunton gets defensive very, very early on indeed. Finlay Brunton places the car in the middle of the track. Ross Dunn with a great run out the corner. They're going to be side by side. That's a great run from Ross Dunn out that final hairpin. My goodness me, of all the cars that you're going to have a photo finish from, I think he's done it. I think Ross Dunn has just won that race. That was an amazing finish out of the final hairpin. Finlay Brunton has to settle for second place, and I think he's going to be calling the police after that one because he's going to feel a little bit mugged. Kyle Nisbet in third place, but unbelievable stuff there. Yep, confirmed by the timing screens. Ross Dunn wins that race by 1/100th of a second. Heartbreak for Finlay Brunt, and he looked like he did everything that he needed to do there. Kyle Nisbet takes third place, and then in the newcomers class as well, we've got, as we said, Aaron Wilson, Ian Cochrane in that one as well. We've got Lazou Benet in that newcomers class, and then we've got Martin Nisbet and Paul Winfield. That is actually Mark Nisbet in the 117 who will take the honours in the newcomers class, finishing in 6th position. So there we go. That is an incredible finish to an incredible race. And ladies and gentlemen, I make no apologies for being completely biased towards the little C1s. They are just the most ridiculously fun little class that you can get involved with. Epic racing though, and I tell you what a first live stream we've had here for the SMRC. Absolutely spoiled with the action, and it looks like you guys on the YouTube channels and the Facebook channels absolutely loving that race as well. The cars away ahead into pit lane. Up next we are going to have the Scottish Mini Cooper Cup and the Mini Cooper S Cup, but it looks like the cars heading into pit lane. As I take a deep breath and try and regain my composure on that one, as the cars making their way round. Andy Alston poised like a ninja, waiting for the cars to come round. Look at them, they're all delighted with that. And Andy, I was saying on the commentary there, I bet that all of these drivers coming in have a huge smile on their face. Just to let you know as well, leading newcomer Mark Nisbet, number 117.
Yeah, absolutely, Dave. I mean, there's close finishes to a race, and then there's that. I mean, absolutely phenomenal stuff. But it is that man there from Micro Machines Racing, Ross Dunn, who takes the win in the opener here in the Scottish C1 Cup. Fantastic action from him. Finlay Brunton making his return to the championship and rounding off with a strong second place finish. But fantastic action, as we always see in the Scottish C1 Cup. But it's Ross Dunn who leads the way and takes his championship defence off to the best possible start. And Ross Dunn will be the man on the top step of the podium and taking the first trophy in the C1s this season. Ross, many congratulations, fantastic drive. Just saying there to Dave on comms, there's close finishes and then there's that. I mean, that was quite something.
That was a gear change or not. You keep it in second or change to third, and was it 16,000 they were saying on the radio? So, oh, crazy, just that whole race, just having headlights right in the back, no chance to breathe whatsoever, and I'm sweating. Those 12 lap races are a killer now. So
yeah. You've got another one to go as well.
I know, yeah. Reverse skid as well, so that'll be interesting. That'll be good to spice things up. So, yeah, good hard racing, and again fair, which is good.
Ross, you've been part of this championship for quite some time now, and it's been a fantastic addition to the SMRC experience overall. I mean, what is it about this championship for you that makes it so special?
I think this championship, for myself personally, it's low cost primarily. Low cost, fairly simple cars, but it's great driving, it's clean, and everybody that you race against, you know that there's nobody out there that's going to deliberately wipe you out. It's clean racing, but no, it's a good addition to the championship, and hopefully get some more cars in the grid this year as well. So, be good.
Absolutely, many congratulations, great drive.
Thank you.
And that's our race winner, Ross Dunn, there getting his championship defence off to a fantastic start. One driver I'd really like to get our thoughts on is the man who made his return to the Scottish C1 grid. And it'll be Finlay Brunton, who we'll catch up with in just a few moments' time and get his thoughts on the return. But let's get a quick catch up with third place man Kyle Nisbet, who joins us now. Kyle, great bit of racing out there throughout, as we always see in the Scottish C1 Cups, but you're starting your campaign with a third place finish. You must be very pleased with that.
Yeah, I'm very pleased with that today. I couldn't have done it without the team, without the hard work and help throughout today and yesterday. It's paid off very much, and I couldn't thank them enough. Ended up having a great race there, having to defend a lot. They just managed to get past me in the end, but that's just racing, that's what it is. I'll hopefully get them on the next one.
Absolutely, you can take that confidence with you into the next race as well, because it was very close at the front, and you're right up there and you can very very much get yourself into contention.
Yeah, that's it. You just got to keep a level head and keep on pushing and hope for the best. And if you've got a level head, you'll try not to overthink things and overdo it, and you'll just hopefully get there.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations and best of luck for race number 2.
Thank you.
Kyle Nisbet there, who rounded out our podium. Let's get a quick catch up with the man who finished second in his return to the Scottish C1 Cup, Finlay Brunton. Finlay, you must be very, very pleased with your performance overall, but of course very close to taking the win in your comeback into this championship as well.
Yeah, it was good to get back and get the cobwebs blown away. I've done a fair bit of testing this year just to try and get back up to pace, but there's always that kind of in the back of your brain, are you going to be quick enough? Obviously watching everybody get faster last year, really pushing on the times, the lap record coming down and down and down, so it was good to kind of reassure myself with the qualifying this morning that I can still fight with the front group, and obviously I've been racing with Ross since 2019, so it's good to kind of have I know his characteristics when driving, and we can trust each other, and I know how much space he'll give me and vice versa. So it was really good, close finish, but it's what you want in the one-make racing really. Like, it's not, Ross won this time, it might be me next time, but good to just get a good first race back to the season, and hopefully another 1, 2 or 3 later on this afternoon.
Absolutely.